Hey guys, it's me again. I don't know how far I'm gonna get in this video before the storm starts or a tree branch falls on me, because literally, like, it falls. This is gonna hurt. I wanted to participate in Ravenflower's Witchy questions tag. Every year, I guess for the past 2 or 3 years, she's put out some questions, and this year there's 18 questions for 2018. Number 1, what are 3 things you do every day to stay connected to your practice? I sit outside when the weather is changing. If it's windy, if it's thundering, if it's doing anything remarkable other than being 1,000,000 degrees, I sit outside in the weather. So let's call that 1. I can't tell you that I do that every day. That question every day is kind of tough. I don't do anything every day. I don't even get dressed every day. Most days. Whew. Okay, the second thing, reading or listening to books and podcasts that are at all witchy or paranormal. I literally do that each and every day. And third, I would say pretty much every day I wear or carry some kind of stone, crystal, rock, something that's been charged for a purpose. I wear this almost every day. This is my triple moon with a moonstone in the middle, and it's been special to me ever since I first found my way on the path. Okay, number 2. When a spell or working fails, what steps do you take to try or fix it? When a spell has failed for me, either the goal I had was just too big, like cure my mom of cancer, something stupid like that, or make something happen that is either too big or maybe isn't right for me. I would say that I go back and I tweak it and change things, but honestly, most of the spells that I do a second, third, fourth time are ones that I've had success with. My only real failures have been in trying to cure a disease or in trying to bring in someone who is a good fit for me. I have brought in a few people, or they have just found their way to me, but I still haven't found the one. I also haven't done any current spells to try to change that. I do a lot of thinking and meditating because I feel like really, if your intention is there, you can do pretty much anything you want. If your intention is strong enough and if it's for your highest purpose. Number 3, have you ever used an object or an ingredient in a spell that would be considered odd or whimsical? I'm going to link a video I put out just a month ago probably about witchy ingredients, and I did mention things that are really random that people would consider unusual, odd, or whimsical. Probably the weirdest one I've used in recent years that I've never heard of anywhere else is someone's straw. I cut off the tip of a straw of this horrible person I needed to get out of my life, and it's very helpful to have a personal effect of some sort. Since I didn't have any hair or anything, I cut off the straw that she'd been using. I also had her signature, so it worked like gangbusters. Number 4, what techniques do you use to generate energy for spell casting? My number 1 go-to is music. By the way, am I changing colors? Am I turning red? Hot flashes have been part of my life since March, and oh lordy, they're real. Whoo. Okay, anywho, music. I have a playlist of lots of different types of songs that I can use for different types of spells. I go into my room where I cast my spells. I close and lock the door. I put on headphones. I listen to that music on repeat, whatever it is, the song or songs. Don't land on my head. And I dance, I move, I jump, I get my heart rate up, I bring the energy I need. Number 5, how do you stay motivated to witch through things or even work or start a grimoire? I don't understand the question. I think there's a typo. I just printed it straight off, but whatever. Basically, how do you stay motivated to witch through things? I would say C, number 1, those daily things I do, especially always having stuff going in my mind, listening to things, re-listening to things. Get more sleep. If your energy is low and you are in a bad place as far as your mood and your emotions, I would say don't do the working unless it's something you're trying to release. If it's a dark moon, if it's like shadow work or something. Sometimes I have to put it down for a little while. If I am just too busy with schoolwork or life, if my brain can't be too many places, then I just focus on what's most important right then. I would still say even then though, I try to schedule in a little bit of time for meditation. There's that quote somewhere, it might have been Gandhi, I don't know who it was, and I'm butchering it, I'm paraphrasing. If you don't have 5 minutes to meditate, then meditate for 10. You know, when things are at their worst is when I actually will stop everything and sit down to take care of it for a little while. And to focus and to get quiet and centered. It really makes a difference for me. I don't know if that answered the question, but that's it. Number 6, are there times when you doubt your power or you don't feel connected? When I'm too overwhelmed. And again, if I start feeling extremely ungrounded, not grounded, all up in my head, just spacey, can't focus, which is one of my default modes, honestly, as a person who's been diagnosed with ADD, attention deficit disorder. Sometimes I do get a little too up there, but I ground myself by taking a bath, a hot bath with a lot of salt in it, Himalayan sea salt, sometimes Epsom salt, some oils, and definitely some stones that are safe in the water. And I will take some me time. I will sit in the tub and I will meditate. I'll have candles and incense and the whole works. It helps me get back to that place where I do feel more connected. I have to cut the ties, cut the cords of all the responsibilities and things I have to do and get back to center. Number 7, how do you build community? I don't know that I do build community, but I will say that I try to respond to people who leave comments on my videos or on my Instagram. So my numbers are kind of small, and I've always been a person who, going through school, I had 1 to 2 best friends, and then I was friendly with everybody else. But I've never been a person who was juggling just tons of people, tons of friends. I was never Miss Popularity. I was always an introvert, and I was happy that way. I felt like I could give a whole lot more quality time to 1 or 2 people than I could half-ass it with, 20 people. I try to be respectful. If I disagree with something, I either say nothing, or if I feel like I have to speak up because maybe I feel like I need to defend somebody who's being unfairly criticized, I will speak up. But that is really hard for me to do because I don't like conflict, and I usually just stay out of stuff when it's witch wars or when it's any kind of just social media crap. I do like to check in with people who I love. There's a few people I will send a text to and just say, hey, thinking about you, hope all is well. And I try to keep those relationships going. But let's go on to the next one. These aren't numbered, so I don't know what number I'm on now. How do you cope when life just becomes too much and you begin to lose faith in your practice and what you do? And sometimes even who you are. This is assuming you do. I mean, yeah, everyone definitely goes through times. But when I'm feeling overwhelmed, it really, all the things I've already mentioned before, the bath, the grounding, the time in nature, the extra sleep, the meditation, tuning into things that I want to listen to that bring me joy, reconnecting with friends, but also doing something kind for someone else. If you haven't done it, you really cannot imagine how good it makes you feel. A little quick example, any one of you would have done this yesterday. This is not some huge, wonderful thing, but Poochie and I were at Target, and a man in front of us dropped a pill bottle, and he had one of those walkers that has a seat on it, and he looked very up in years. He seemed to be by himself, and he seemed to be a little bit confused and disheveled, which, yeah, me too, y'all. And I saw that he dropped it. Actually, I saw it hit the ground, and I wasn't sure who dropped it, and I looked up and I assumed it was him. And so I picked it up and I walked up to him and I just said, "Sir, I think you dropped this." And he said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much, thank you." And it was a little thing. Again, all of you would have done it. This wasn't some great feat, but I noticed little Poochie's face. He was grinning, kind of like, you know, and I said, "It feels good to do something nice for somebody, doesn't it?" And he said, "Yeah." And I thought that was a really awesome lesson for him. I mean, it would have been easy just to ignore it. Not my problem. I hate that attitude. It's just a reminder, when I'm down, one of the best ways for me to feel better is to get out of myself, get out of my head, get out of my house, go somewhere and do something kind for someone. Be a considerate driver. Don't be a jackass. Don't honk your horn at people, even if they don't go when the light's green. Okay, hold the door for people, donate things, you know, all those good things you can do, and none of them cost money. That's what I do when life becomes too much. Now, there's another question coming up soon, and I'll revisit part of this when I get to that. Okay, the next one, what and where is your favorite magical scenery? Here is my favorite one when I am at home, and the beach, of course. Those are my two favorites. The woods and the beach. How do you handle new friendships that don't know you practice the craft? I actually am facing this right now because I'm working. I've gotten some new people on my team at school, and some of the other ones have left. I've never told any of them. They know I make YouTube videos, but I don't tell them what about. They know I'm into the woo. I always tell them I'm big time into the woo. They know I have salt lamps and oil like diffusers in my classroom. I carry stones all the time. I'm green AF, etc. So it's not a far leap to maybe eventually tell them. I'll let you know. I have to get back to you on this because I might come out a little bit more this year. I've come so far out. I'm more out now than I am in the closet. How do you deal with family that does not accept you being a witch? I don't have that problem. The only person who knows has no problem with it, and the rest of my family, they don't need to know. Again, I'm old. I don't need my parents' permission. In fact, I mean, my mom is gone, and my dad is 77, and he probably doesn't know that this stuff even exists in the world, and it doesn't matter. I've never felt like I have to go around announcing my opinions to the world. Off of YouTube, of course. I mean, with my family. I don't feel like that. Have you ever had a spell that backfired on you to the point that it scared you so much that you considered stopping practicing witchcraft? No, never. It's a short answer. When you first started practicing, when was the moment you stopped depending on others, books, websites for guidance and started following your own intuition, doing what feels right to you? I don't know when it was precisely, But it was pretty early on. Once I finally started doing the spells and doing some of the work and having success, and when I created some of my own things, my own spells, and had success, I realized I don't really need the books. I use them for reference, but I don't even use them all that much. Do you wait for karma, or do you take karma into your own hands? Neither. When you really understand what karma is, it's not what we think it is. It's not, oh, you'll get yours in 10 years. It's in your next, it's in subsequent lifetimes that karma actually would take place, if it's a thing. And I kind of do believe in karma, and I do the best I can. Other people's karma is none of my business. Even if they have wronged me, it's not my business. If it's their karma to eventually understand how much they've hurt me, if that is in their future, so be it. Doesn't change anything. I definitely don't go around taking it into my own hands, because I'm not judge, jury, jailer, whatever. That's not my thing. I will protect myself and stop someone, and sometimes move someone out of my life, but I don't go around getting revenge on people, though it's been tempting. I don't. Have you ever been physically attacked by a fellow pagan? No. Physically attacked? I've never even been physically in the same room with a fellow pagan. Or I'm thinking YouTube pagan. No, I've never been physically attacked. This is the question I was saying earlier about when life becomes too much and you lose faith in your practice or who you are and all that stuff. I did experience a loss almost a year ago. A loss from a person who I felt very close to, and not anyone in my physical life, but someone I connected with. And it was heartbreaking because it was from a complete and utter misperception on that person's part. They perceived something a certain way, decided that was the case, and bailed. And that was the end of that story. And then when I finally reached out and I was like, hey, what the heck? What's happening? The side of the story that they shared it blew my mind. I'm like, what? So it was sad and it was discouraging. And for a little while, that's around the time I started getting a little more quiet on YouTube, and took out some of the joy and fun, because I don't consider too many people like my personal close friend. But when I do lose a friend or a loved one, especially from a miscommunication or something that is unfair because it's wrong, you know, it's taken me a long time to get over it. But it is what it is. Luckily, there was no super horrible negative stuff. I mean, it was peacefully over. Have you ever been accused of something that you didn't do because you practice witchcraft? No, thankfully. But I know people who have. Ooh, here comes the rain. How do you feel about bringing diversity into your practice from other cultures outside your own? I love it, and I try to be respectful with it. Lately, I've been really interested in Hinduism. I'm not planning on learning and becoming a Hindu, but I love the religion and I love the practice. I just love it. Lastly, what's your favorite witchy tool? Physical item. I guess fire. Fire has always been. I was heavy in the incense for a long time, but with my breathing problems, I don't do a whole lot of incense anymore because my asthma's been, kind of bad. But even so, fire and burning things. I use a little cauldron. I guess that would be my favorite tool. Okay, well that was the 18 questions. That's not bad. I used to take a freaking hour to do these things. Only like 25 minutes without my editing, so I'll shave down a lot of my ums and ands and so's. I've been trying to cut that stuff out lately. It's really annoying. I would love to see you participate if you are interested in doing so. It's fun. You don't have to answer every question. I mean, a lot of these didn't apply to my life at all, but when possible, I did try to answer. And you can do the same. You could skip it. You can answer it in whatever way makes sense for you. And go for it. Make a video. Answer the questions. We love to hear from you. It's always fun to meet new people and to hear their stories. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Be well.